So recently I was looking at my older games and I came across this one from Pittsburgh Chess League 2011-2012. Just to tell you how it works, you come out with your team of four people. It's a team event where a few university teams, like Carnegie Mellon, where I was at the time, Pitt, University of Pittsburgh, is there. Or you can really gather any four friends from work, from your street, from anywhere really. And you can gather them in a team and attend the event. Now, I was playing for University of Pittsburgh, or Pitt at the time, but I was studying at Carnegie Mellon grad school, so that was kind of a bit strange. I was on the wrong side, it felt like. And I ended up playing a really nice game against their first board. First board is the strongest person on the team. So I was outrated, I should say. I was outrated almost 500 points. So I'm the clear underdog, and I'm just waiting impatiently for the opponent to arrive. Other boards are playing. Beautiful day it was a bit cold, but nice day to play chess. And I was walking around the hall, then I went outside, got coffee. I think it was snowing that day, I remember vaguely. A half hour later, he shows up at the board and just responded to my e4 with c5 as Sicilian. Now, a half hour in this time control is big. We have 90 minutes to make 30 moves, and then 60 minutes are added to the clock. So, big time advantage, bring it on. Knight c3, a6. So this is an interesting move order, and specifically good against the closed Sicilian. This is a closed Sicilian. If I play knight f3 and d6, d4, right? This is called an open when pawns are exchanged this way. But going back, this way it's closed. The position will be closed, as you can see. So this is, I remember this threw me off. I didn't really know the ideas. And usually in this position, the bishop is brought out to c4 or b5, called the Grand Prix in these positions. But neither square makes any sense. The b5 square is taken away with the pawn, obviously. That doesn't work. And if I play this, it's really not. It doesn't make any sense. b5, if I do this, of course the bishop is trapped. Oops, that didn't work. And bishop e2, well, why did I allow b5? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we can't do this. And I want to castle. I want to develop. So g3. Right? Even g4 is a move. I wonder if that's maybe then h5. It gets a bit crazy. But g3. The point is, you get the point. It's like, bring the bishop here. Okay. h5 happened. And this was a bit of a surprise at the time. Now I know in these positions, this move makes sense. But in my database, this has been played only 3 times. And not by really strong players. So I don't know what that tells you. But the psychology of this, let me tell you about that. He is 500 points rated above me. You want to take some risks, and this is it. He imbalances the position, kind of signaling that he's not going to castle kingside in the game, probably. He just wants to kill me on the kingside. I said, okay, well, let me play h3. Now, my option was just to castle, maybe, and h4, well, it kind of gives him what he wants, like g4 to bypass, but then h3. And it looks like black has gained something, like d5, he just finished development. Okay, well, how about not allowing any of this? h3, just like hold your horses, calm down. If h4 now g4 is actually good. Because I stopped the pawn in its tracks on h4, right? In the other line, it came all the way to h3. That's the difference, okay? So h3, d5, central play, makes sense. d3. Little moves, h3, d3, all good. Position's about equal. No problem at all. Knight f6 makes sense. Castle. b5. Now here I played my first inaccuracy in the game. Queen e2. It looks a bit strange. And it's strange because it just gets under knight d4. Right? Maybe it's nothing special. Maybe queen f2. I'm looking at the engine evaluation, which you can't see, but I can. Knight f3, queen f3, or bishop f3. It's about equal. Maybe white's a bit better, but it's about equal. In general, does the queen really belong on e2? Well, maybe it does. I'm not sure. Maybe this is an okay move. Hard to say. Maybe e5, like deciding on the tension incisively in the center, and then maybe queen e2, or I don't need to. Knight d7. What do I do here? What would I do right now in a game? a3, a4. It's hard to come up with a... It's good for white to wait. Just see where the opponent king is going. And only then make up their mind, maybe. Maybe bishop d2 comes to mind. Anyhow, I play queen e2. Queen c7. Bishop d2 developing. I mean, this bishop isn't the best bishop in the world, but it's okay. Bishop b7. And now, decision time. I can push, I can take. I don't know what you would do, but one is clearly better than the other. The right decision is to gain space, e5. e5, knight moves, knight moves, knight moves, for those that got it. And we have the center, right? It's a little bit like the King's Indian attack, where we push e5. This could be a weakness one day. White's for choice, slight advantage. Taking kind of, well, really, okay, what are you doing, right? When you take, you're swapping this pawn with this pawn, right? Who can that be better for? Clearly black. So not the best choice. Maybe I thought I was keeping his king in the center with this move, but that's not the case. He just castles. Well, there's a knight protecting the bishop, right? Okay, and now we're entering a really interesting phase of the game. All I want to do is to get at the king by opening diagonals. I don't care how I do it. a4, b4, c4, d4. Some of those moves are better than others, but the point is just to get at the king, right? We want lines and diagonals, just like open up, fire, fire, fire. And what does he want to do? He wants to fight fire with fire by doing the same thing, just boom, 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 boom. And one thing you'll see in the game, that my structure has hooks. Think of it like this guy. Oh, let me do it like green. This structure is really vulnerable to an h4 push. So when this happens, the h4, this move, red, it's going to be a little bit difficult to defend. And you'll see what I mean here. Whereas his structure, he has hooks too, all the way here. Here. It's really double-edged, but it looks like my structure is a bit more fragile than his, but we'll see what happens. Queen f2 just sidestepping. The queen's eyeing the king side that way. Bishop d6. Okay, now h4 is on the cards, right? a4. b4. Knight back. King b8. Okay. King's a bit safer there. Or is it? We'll see in a short while. Now, b3 is something I want to criticize, because I think I'm thinking in the game, I remember what I was thinking. c3, b3, knight c1. And I thought I was just simply, why am I allowing this? I thought, right? There's c4, Maybe it's still fine for me. Hard to say. But I didn't want him to close all the lines. Even here, maybe bishop e3 is a move, right? Threatening this. I don't know. But I thought if I do this first, that's my thinking. When I push c3 now, he can no longer play b3 himself because I blocked it, right? It's okay. It's all right. Not the best way to continue, but it's okay. Still, it's about balanced. And here, maybe knight c3 was stronger, but details, I'm gonna skip over them. And d4. This actually really made a good impression. Like d4, I thought he would come here. Like I was a little bit worried at this point, but knight f5 happened. b4. Now is the right time to strike, and h4. This is the kind of game I really want to play. It's very, very interesting. Both kings are under fire. Well, they will be momentarily. Who wins the race first? Right? That's the question, and that's usually the victor of the game. So I took, which is a pretty bad move. It's borderline losing, actually. What I should have done, as you can imagine, is this very nice b takes c5. And you can try to analyze why this is good. So what's some options here? Bishop takes c5. Now what can I do? At least I have the line open, right? Rook b1, boom, right? He takes, queen e2. It's really double-edged and really sharp. But this pawn is kind of blockading my king. And is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Now, Shabalov taught me, Grandmaster Alex Shabalov, he taught me that the attacker's pawn is sometimes the best shield for your king, right? Because obviously he can't take his own pawn. That'd be slightly illegal. And it cannot move if I block it, as is the case here. So it's actually very interesting. Engines showing 0, 0, 0. Go figure. If you ask a human, they'll say one of the sides will lose. It's so sharp. So this is what I should have gone for, but instead I just took in this position. If I can go back with the knight. And problem is my structure is destroyed, right? And I was really worried in the game. He looks like he's coming at me first. Like I'm a bit slow. But here he took here on h4. And I'm thinking, well, hang on. Now, I take, right? That's the most common, that's the most reasonable move in the game. Because you understand, I'm always trying to open these lines, and I get the chance, I do it. I calculated a win here, and I thought, well, unless I'm missing something, this is just lights out. Point is, now try to see what happens here yourself. We give the same check, king a7, white to play and win. Pause the video, try to find it. First, identify the critical square in the game. This king feels really lonely, right? Really vulnerable to my queen, right? Right here. And where does my queen and rook connect? On this square, right? Okay, you just reverse engineer the whole thing. If I could lure the lady here, this lady, from that square, so the lady would no longer, the queen would no longer cover b7, I would give checkmate, right? So can you do that forcefully? You don't want to take your time. You just want to do it in one go. Boom. Bishop a5. And that's it. Game over. Because if the queen takes, that's the whole point. Checkmate. And there's nowhere else to go. If you do this, I take. And that is a whole rook. It's not just the exchange. The reason being, you can't take it. There's still the mate. So I saw this in the game, so you can't take that guy. Okay, that's good. How about this one? Right? Easy. Take, take, take. Point is, he can't take back. Well, same mate. King b1. I don't care where you go. King c7, a7, doesn't matter. Mate. Other king moves also get mated in the same way. Okay. Well, then what does the bishop do? If it goes back, now let's say you're not going to be surprised by this one anymore. Here. And now, let's say I'm idea, right? Bishop a5. If take, mate. So because of this, he cannot take with the bishop. He took with the queen. But again, the final move of the game, check. If you move the king up, or anywhere really, any of the three squares, well, this is not available anymore, but a7 and c7, or c8, look, that's the third one. My move is queen b7, checkmate. Right, for example, here, 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 checkmate. In the game, he just resigned. Well, he can sacrifice his queen, just have immaterial losses, and he has to resign. Interesting game. It turns out this very natural rook h4 is a blunder, this one. And c4 would have given black a large advantage, but rook h4 makes sense from a human perspective. So what happened in the other boards was we got a draw against CMU and lost two other boards. So we lost the whole match, 2.5 to 1.5. Still, these kinds of 500-point upsets don't happen very often. So I was really proud to play a good game and beat my opponent in a tactical skirmish with opposite side castling. That's all. Hope you got something out of it. I enjoyed making the video, and yeah, I'll post more videos from this tournament in the near future. Thank you. Stay safe.